Greetings, movie fans. Lieutenant Fish back to bring the pain. This next film is one hilariously black comedy. So offensive and so over the top, even with the bizarre metaphysical finale, I hope it never gets remade in the US. Although it could certainly use a good remaster. Check out the extremely original Danish crime flick, In China They Eat Dogs.
There's a place I know with a mountain high, where pretty flowers grow and birds in the sky, watching the sunrise from the top of my hill. I just have to sing. Life is a beautiful thing. There's a place I know with a mountain high, where pretty flowers grow and birds in the sky. That magical sound from a river so deep, the joy in my heart makes me sing. And it's then that I know life is a beautiful thing.
Now, Denmark is a pretty small country, all things considered, but they've got an incredibly broad film history as well, producing writers and directors to include Lars von Trier, Ole Christian Madsen, and Nicholas Winding Refn. I've got some real love for Refn's Pusher trilogy and Madsen's Nordkraft film, but for the moment we're going to discuss the director-writer team of Lasse Spang Olsen and Anders Thomas Jensen. From IMDb, I believe this was their second feature collaboration, and it really demonstrates a great partnership that was maximized here and in several other films. I'd probably best describe this film as a bit of a roller coaster. Starting slow, it inches up to the first little hill. Whee! Bit of a rush. Starts inching up again. The next rush is a little longer. What's this? No climb here, but we're tipping over, and wow, that's a long way down. Arvid Blixen, played by Dejan Kucik, is possibly one of the most boring guys in the world. He's the kind of guy who would literally kick a hot gal out of bed for eating crackers. Well, except for actually taking the initiative to do more than complain to her about how revolting it is. As a generic bank drone, he is nonetheless almost involuntarily spurred to take action during an attempted bank robbery, beating the thief with a squash racket and becoming an instant celebrity. Media fame brings out the leeches and beatdowns, however, even in the pre-social media era, and Arvid soon finds himself asking for help on the doorstep of his estranged brother Harold, played by the always excellent Kim Bodnia. Harold's the only felon he knows, and hopefully he can help him make some money. Harold in his restaurant, assisted by his employees/henchmen Peter and Martin, played by Nicola Lee Kaz and Thomas Willem Jensen, and simple-minded Yugoslavian dishwasher Vuk, played by Brian Patterson, is only too happy to help out the brother he hasn't seen in nearly a decade, as long as there's some money to be made on the side. One thing leads to another, plans follow plans, and Arvid finds himself becoming more and more entangled in Harold's world, finding himself changing the longer he spends with his brother. Now, I've got a growing stack of Danish crime movies, and while In China They Eat Dogs and the sequel/prequel, Old Men in New Cars, may not be the best overall movies, they're certainly at the top of the list when it comes to pure entertainment value. The trailer unfortunately does nothing to capture the pure humor of the verbal exchanges, though, and the comedic timing is handled extremely well in conversations you'd never expect to hear between two rational individuals. Although sadly my edits don't do a great job of capturing it either.
Kan du huske dengang vi to havde en kat? Hvorfor tror du, den stak af, hva'? Fordi den røv kede sig, Arvid.
sket?
Jeg har slået Hanne ihjel.
Hanne? Hvad fanden er Hanne? Hvorfor?
Hun kom og ville hente fjernsynet.
Okay. Ja, så... Hvor er hun?
Hun er derhjemme. I stuen. Og i køkkenet.
I stuen og i køkkenet.
Ja.
Peter and Martin in particular have a bizarrely passive-aggressive, submissive relationship with the subdued Dom, Harold. If they ever both got on the same page, they might have enough backbone between them to stand up to Harold, but they constantly manage to step on each other's dicks. Vuk, on the other hand, is a different sort of animal. As becomes more clear in the prequel, he works for Harold as a sort of favor for his relative, the local Yugoslavian mob heavy Radko, played by another Danish crime film regular, Slavko Labovic.
Det er fandme et vildt dyr, sådan en svin, hva'?
Harald Vuk vil gerne have nogle penge.
Hvis du er gris, de får orgasmer, der var en halv time. Hvad? De får orgasmer, der var en halv time. Det var så ikke det der løgn. Nej.
Det gør de vel ikke hver gang?
Nej. Det var sgu satans.
Harald Vuk vil gerne have nogle penge.
Hvad er det, du ved, din utaknemmelige perker? Er du utilfreds med at være her?
Nej, Harald. Men jeg taler med Martin.
Er du utilfreds med at være her?
Hold nu op, Harald.
Han skal ikke sidde og brokke sig.
Du er jo racist, mand.
Og hvad så? Hvad er der galt med det? Du får til at lyde, som om det er et skældsord. Og hvis I to bøsserøv er så heldige, så giv dem nogle af jeres penge, okay?
Jo, det kan vi da også godt.
Godt. Så er der mere at snakke om, vel? Hvis I giver ham 6.000 hver af jeres løn, så passer pengene.
Director Lasse Spang Olsen also brings more to this movie than you'd expect for a similarly budgeted film. While it bears a lot of thematic similarities to films of the period, such as Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, although it's definitely lighter on the editing, when it's time for the fireworks to start, Olsen's stunt performer background really carries over, and we're treated to a number of pyrotechnics handled with far more alacrity, style, and bombast than nearly any other Western director working on a budget is capable of, with the possible exception of Robert Rodriguez.
Tid som sidst. Samme tidsuge.
Hvor meget er der så den her gang?
Der er en fjerdedel af, hvad der var sidst.
Hvor har I fået de der sandwich fra?
Lige over. Vuks onkel har et pizzeria.
Køb nogen med til os andre?
Det ved jeg ikke. Vi troede sgu, det havde spist.
Altså, du må gerne få noget.
Hold nu op,
min.
der er ikke mere tilbage.
Men du kan bare bide fra den anden
Jeg
side.
gider ikke at æde det der lort.
Den her bare
Hvad er den sat til?
30 sekunder.
30? Ja. Så er du måske lære at tænke på andre end dig selv.
While all this is going on, there is an overarching bookend story that ties together the greater plot and themes, but it would give away some of the best gags in the movie to bring up those spoilers. Suffice to say, you can really see the fingerprints of Anders Thomas Jensen looking from these films to his directorial efforts such as Adam's Apples. Unfortunately, this is another great film with a very subpar DVD presentation. While it is anamorphic, the video quality on the US DVD generally features a very soft picture, comparatively speaking, with a lot of blur and muddiness depending on the scene. Similarly, there's an excellent soundtrack featured, but the mixing appears to be a little off. At several points, budding Gregorian themes transition to a more contemporary rock. The volume is almost overpowering at those points, at least on the 5.1 mix. While the US DVD also appears to be out of print, it is available digitally in a few locations, but you can also find it streaming on Amazon, but only listed as an SD release, no HD version. I can only assume it's roughly the same quality as the DVD. Even worse, however, the US release is the only one I've seen at all with English subtitles. This is definitely a film that screams for a cleaned up HD release, and if anyone knows of any Blu-ray details for English subbed versions, please let us know in the comments below. The Netflix version, however, also appears to be missing in action. So my recommendation is to fire up the Amazon streaming rental or purchase, sit back with a couple good stouts, and have a blast with this one. Highly recommend it. You could probably get it dirt cheap on eBay too. Anyway, if you like this review, please like the vid, subscribe to the channel. New reviews almost always on Thursdays. Stay tuned, movie fans. Lieutenant Fish, out.
Kom nu, Arvid, mand. Gør det nu. Hold da kæft, mand.
Jeg ved godt, du lige har skudt et helt rockband, ikke?
Jo.
Så jeg skulle altid godt kunne tænke mig.
Der er masser af dem.
Ja, nemlig. Det er lige det.